Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Well, here we are on a very chilly and cloudy day. I thought that I would do a video about some books I recently purchased. It so happened that, about beginning of October, so several weeks ago. Today is what? It's the 24th of November. So around the first week of October, I was actually in Paris. I went to deliver a lecture at the University of Paris, and I was there with my friend and colleague from Exeter, Sayyid Sajjad Rizvi, and I was delivering a paper there on Ibn al-Arabi. And so I took advantage of my time in France to purchase some books in French. And so you all know that I'm doing a series on Rene Guénon's Reign of Quantity, so here is the original book in French. Look at that. I actually got a whole bunch of Guénon books in French. The fact is that I actually was traveling with my wife, and she wanted to go to the Eiffel Tower, so I took her there. So I actually didn't have time to go and get any of these books. And my friend Sajjad was kind enough to go and pick them up. So here we have Guénon's Initiation and Spiritual Realization. Well, the receipt just fell out of there. This is East and West. This is one of his books on initiation. And what's this? I think this is Traditional Forms and Cosmic Cycles. The King of the World. You can actually get, most of these were purchased used. So you can get these they're quite affordable. Here's La Crise du Monde Moderne, The Crisis of the Modern World. And of course, last but not least, the Principles of the Infinitesimal Calculus. I am still hard at work on the Guénon series and hope to finish it very soon. This is an interesting volume which I received as a gift from my friend Sajjad Rizvi. After Paris, we took the Eurostar and went to London. That's a train. And this is a book which he presented me called Doing Metaphysics in a Diverse World, How We Make Sense of Things Across Cultures. And he has, I think, 2 contributions in this volume. One on, what is it? Philosophy as a Way of Life. Yeah, Philosophy as a Way of Life, Metaphysics, Ethics, and Spiritual Exercises by Sajjad Rizvi is in here. So I have very wide and varied interests, as anyone who watches the channel knows. So I recently have been revisiting the works of Aristotle, and in the ancient world, an introductory work before you began the study of the Organon, which were the 6 treatises on logic by Aristotle. It was preceded by a book called the Isagoge, or the Introduction, by Ḥāʾirī. So I just got this. This is kind of expensive, but it's very interesting reading. The Isagoge, or the Introduction, which in Arabic was called the Isaruji, is actually an investigation of the notion of universality, I would say. And it looks at universal terms, both from a logical point of view as well as, I think, a metaphysical point of view. But this is something which people love to argue about. They argue the same way about Aristotle's categories. Is it a book on logic? Is it a book on metaphysics? Well, I think it's both. And this is an excellent edition by Jonathan Barnes. Another great book from the ancient world is also related to Ḥāኢና, and it's by his student Iamblichus. It's called On the Mysteries. This is a new edition of the book, published by SBL, the Society of Biblical Literature, and it's been translated with introduction and notes by Emma C. Clark, John M. Dillon, huge name in the study of Platonism, and Jackson P. Heschbel. This is a much newer edition. The older, much older translation is by Thomas Taylor. I didn't just buy this. I've had this. In fact, I got this in Egypt back in the day when I lived there. And honestly, I don't know Greek, but in some ways, this is a better one. So for those of you who have constantly been asking me to make a reading list for Plato, I don't think I'm going to make a separate one, because all you need to do is read Plato. We have the collected dialogues back here. Might as well just show it on the screen. Just get this. Or get the complete Plato. I currently don't have that in my library because my son has it with him at St. John's College. My youngest son is going there also. So you should just get that. And then this biography just came out called Plato of Athens, A Life in Philosophy. I actually just picked this up earlier this month. And then there's this provocatively titled book, Plato and the Tyrant. I haven't read this yet. The Fall of Greece's Greatest Dynasty and the Making of a Philosophic Masterpiece by James Romm. James Romm is a serious scholar of the classics. He has an excellent book on, Seneca as well. This is a book on theurgy, theory and practice, the mysteries of the ascent to the divine, Homeric epics, the Chaldean oracles, and Neoplatonic ritual by P.D. Newman. A very absorbing read. I just finished this a couple of weeks back. Very interesting book. I'm also a great admirer of the book. There's a book by Gregory Shaw on iamblichus. And theurgy, and he wrote another book with a rather peculiar title, but he argues very persuasively. It's called Hellenic Tantra, The Theurgic Platonism of Iamblichus. This book was strongly recommended to me by my friend Sajjad Rizvi on my latest trip, and so when I came back, I made a point of getting it. Finally, there is a new edition out of the complete works of Aristotle. Box set. Absolutely lovely. You really must get a copy. This is published by Hackett. Hardcover. It's got a bookmark in it. It's just fantastic. The font is very readable. The paper is very nice. Excellent paper. And it costs $145. I don't know. They've only printed up a limited number of these, and I actually didn't even know that this was coming out. One of my students, one of my followers on YouTube, actually told me, and so I managed to get one. And I went to the website of the Hackett publications, and it was out of stock, and I was quite concerned. And they said it would come back in stock on October 27th. And I waited, and then October 27th, there was nothing there. And then the 28th, lo and behold, copies were available, and I immediately ordered one. So this, again, to know, one would have to know Greek, and I don't. But in some places, it reads much better than what is in the previous edition, which was the 2-volume edition published by Princeton, which is in blue, which is back here on my shelf somewhere, edited by Jonathan Barnes. So you'll just have to decide. If you know Greek, you're in a much better position to make a decision. But I just think it's a good idea to have as many translations as possible of works of this nature, especially when you don't know the ancient languages. And even when you do, I know Arabic quite well to not need a translation of the Quran, but I have many, many, many translations of the Quran. I have many, many translations of the Tao Te Ching, for example. So this is just a glimpse into my library, once again, and the books I recently purchased. I now have to get back to the Guenon series. Thank you very much for watching.